The Story Vault presents The Time Machine, Episode 2, The Ripple Effect. The sound of rain patters softly against frosted windows. The dim glow of gas lamps illuminates a laboratory shrouded in shadows. Machinery hums quietly, punctuated by the rhythmic ticking of a clock and the occasional crackle of electricity. Dr. Natalie Carter stands at her workbench, her straight blonde hair falling loosely around her shoulders as she gazes intently at the glowing brass contraption before her. The central piece, a pocket watch, glints with an otherworldly sheen. This is it. Years of work, failures, and sleepless nights. It all comes down to this moment. Her fingers hover over the controls, trembling slightly. She adjusts a knob. The machine's hum intensifies. A ripple of energy distorts the air, causing the objects on the desk to shimmer faintly. For a moment, the pocket watch disappears, only to reappear coated in frost. The room falls silent, save for the faint ticking of the watch. She exhales slowly, staring at the watch as if it holds the secrets of the universe. I've done it. It's not just freezing time. It's more. Time isn't linear. It's elastic. The rain grows heavier, matching her racing thoughts. She moves to the chalkboard, covered in overlapping diagrams and equations. Her father's cracked leather notebook lies open nearby, its pages filled with cryptic notes and sketches. You always said time was a fabric, Father. Stretching, bending. And now I see it. But why does it feel like I'm missing something? What am I not seeing? Her frustration grows. She tosses a pencil onto the cluttered desk, pacing as the hiss of steam from a nearby valve adds to the tension. Maybe I've been thinking about this the wrong way. Time isn't something you move through. It's like light. A wave. A particle. A resonance. She stops suddenly, her eyes narrowing. She flips through her father's notebook until a page labeled Temporal Entanglement catches her eye. Her voice drops to a whisper. Could it be that simple? Before she can continue, a loud knock at the door startles her. She hesitates, her gaze flicking to the humming machine. Cautiously, she opens the door to reveal a young man, pale and visibly shaken. His Victorian attire is damp from the rain, his eyes wide with confusion. Dr. Carter? I don't know how I got here. One moment I was at home and the next. He trails off, staring past her at the glowing contraption. She frowns, stepping aside to let him in. Who are you? How do you know my name? He shakes his head, his voice trembling. I'm Peter. I don't know. I just felt like I needed to come here. What is that? She follows his gaze to the machine, her expression hardening. It's not possible. You shouldn't be here. Not unless... Her voice trails off as she realizes the implications. She steps closer to Peter, studying him. You're part of a ripple. When I activated the machine, I must have pulled you from another moment in time. A ripple? What does that mean? It means you don't belong here. But I can fix it. As she moves to the machine, the hum grows louder, resonating in a way that makes Peter step back. His voice softens, filled with awe. It's beautiful. Like it's singing to me. She freezes, turning to face him. What did you just say? He steps closer, his hand reaching toward the glowing coils. It's like a melody. Faint but familiar. Her eyes widen as she realizes what's happening. You're connected to it. Somehow, your presence is amplifying the resonance. The machine emits a sudden burst of light, and for a fleeting moment, the lab flickers into another form. Sleek walls, holographic displays, and advanced machinery replace the Victorian setting before it snaps back to normal. Both Natalie and Peter stand frozen, their faces pale. What was that? She steadies herself, her mind racing. That was another version of now. A parallel timeline. The machine doesn't just interact with time, it bridges realities. Peter stares at her, his voice barely a whisper. And what happens if those realities collide? She doesn't answer immediately, her gaze fixed on the machine. Finally, she speaks, her voice firm. Then we'd better make sure they don't. The rain outside softens as the lab grows quiet. Natalie sits at her desk, writing in her notebook, while Peter watches from the sofa. Her damp hair clings to her face, and the faint glow of the machine bathes the room in an eerie light. Time isn't a current or a web. It's something much bigger. Something we've barely begun to understand. And I've tapped into it. But now I have to figure out what I've done. And what's coming next? Enjoyed this glimpse into the time machine? Like, share, and subscribe to join us for episode 3 as we delve deeper into the mysteries of time.